A tragic story to bring you on this long weekend. 3 people have died and 5 others are seriously injured in a boat crash north of Kingston, Ontario. It happened on the Buck Bay area of Bob's Lake just after 9:30 last night. Frontenac Paramedic Services has confirmed to CTV News that it was a 2-boat collision. The OPP describes one boat as an open bow fishing-style boat. The other was a speedboat. Police say the 3 people were pronounced dead at the scene. They have been identified as a 21-year-old female from South Frontenac Township, a 22-year-old female from Elginburg, and a 23-year-old male from South Frontenac. The cause of the collision is under investigation. And for more, I want to bring in Sergeant Bill Dickson with the OPP. Sergeant, thank you for being here. A very sad story to cover on a long weekend. Any idea what could have happened here?
At this point in time, I can't speculate on what happened. All we know is that several families have now experienced a huge tragedy, and our thoughts go out to all of those families that are impacted, not just the families of the deceased, but all of the families who've been impacted. This is a horrible start for their summer and for their families, and now it's a tragic start to what is supposed to be the official start to everyone's fun summer season of boating.
Certainly, our thoughts go out to the families and all of the people affected. What can you tell us about the injured? How are they doing?
We can't get into a whole lot of medical information because it's not really ours to release. But the 5 people who were taken to hospital, 2 are still in very serious condition, and our thoughts are with them and their families. What I can talk about is the investigation. We're still in the early stages, but it is ongoing. We owe it not only to the families of the deceased and the families of others impacted by this. We owe it to everyone to determine how this happened, why this happened, and make sure that we take any steps we can to try and avoid it ever happening again.
What did the emergency response look like? Do you know who called emergency services?
We had a couple of calls come into our communications center just after 9:30 last night. Some of those calls came from people who were involved in this collision. As you can imagine, this was a horrendous scene. It's dark. The water is still fairly cold this time of year, and you've got numerous people in the water as a result of this collision. When our first responders arrived, and kudos to the South Frontenac and Central Frontenac Fire and Rescue Services, they had their boats there quickly. OPP boats were in the water quickly, and we did everything we could to, as quickly as possible, find the victims who were in the water, get them out of the water. Tragically, we did locate right away 2 people who were deceased. One other person was located deceased a short time later. We had to bring in one of our what everyone calls a drone to help us search the waterway, because again, we're out on a very dark lake. It's night. There was a bit of a moon out last night, but not a full moon. So trying to find victims in the water was a challenge. It was a terrible scene.
I can imagine. So what comes next with this?
Well, next, for some, it's grieving. For others, it's recovery. And for the OPP, it's the investigation. We have our collision reconstructionists and our technical collision investigators are still on scene. They are looking to determine the cause. We can't speculate on what happened here. We have to go with fact. And these investigators, they're experts. Whether it's a collision on land or a collision on water, they will look at all aspects of everything that was involved to try and determine what happened.
What's your message to Canadians heading out on their boats this weekend?
Well, while I would not speak specifically to this incident, one of the top messages we always say, make sure you have all the right gear. And for that, one of the biggest aspects is the PFD or life jacket. The law is you have to have them, but it's not law that you have to wear them. So a lot of people, they put them in the boat, they shove them under the seats, but a life jacket can't save you if you fall out of a boat and hit your head, or you fall out of a boat and no one's there to rescue you. A PFD and life jacket can only save you if you wear it. So the number one tip that we would give to anybody that's out in a boat, and that doesn't matter what kind of boat, personal watercraft, a canoe, kayak, or a powerboat, don't just take the PFDs and life jackets, wear them. They are there to save your life, and they can make all the difference in the world.
Are you able to say whether everyone in this case was wearing life jackets?
At this point in time, that's part of the ongoing investigation, so I can't comment on whether or not these individuals were wearing their PFDs.
Well, it's certainly a very, very terrible situation for everyone involved. We thank you for being here to just give us a little bit more of the details surrounding this horrible tragedy. Sergeant Bill Dickson, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate this.
Thank you.